Hello everyone and welcome to this episode here on NRV Outdoors. Today we're here at the creek to talk a little bit about the trout spawn. As you know, fall's on its way, and oftentimes during the fall months we start to see our salmon run up into our creeks and our rivers, and we start to see some of our trout spawn, especially our brown trout. So today we're here at the creek to focus on salmon egg fishing. Now, as a lot of you guys know, I love to fish salmon eggs, especially that pulaski brand there. But today we're going to be out here to talk about and focus on how to fish these while the fish are spawning during the fall months. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and hop into this video and let's see how many we can catch. Slid on up here to one of our favorite holes where we located some fish last time we was here. And as you can tell, it's kind of muddied up a little bit and the creek levels came up some. But I feel like we can still slide these eggs right along the bottom here, get in front of some fish, and get those fish that have been feeding on eggs to go ahead and open up and take for us. So we'll fish here for a little bit and we'll see. Oh, there he was. We missed him. There went one rolling. May even have been the same fish. Let's cast it back in there. See if we can intrigue that bite again. That fish took the bobber down. I was just a little bit too slow on setting the hook there. Alright, better redirect our cast here a little bit further into that main current seam. There we go. Allow that to sink there. See if we can get that around that fish that was just striking a moment ago. Yep, we got him. Perfect. Looks like a little rainbow. And he took the little cluster of the pulaski yellow jacket, balls of fire. Slide her right on into the net. Just a tiny guy. But it did like those eggs. Calm down, little buddy. Oh, he already popped off there in the net. We'll just let him slide right on out of here. There we go. I'll tell you what, guys. Let's go ahead and grab us out a couple more. See if we can replicate that bite again. Just going to grab me out 4 or 5 of these here. We haven't quite gotten to the sneaky egg that I think is the best during the spawn time. But we'll go on ahead and rig us up some of these yellow jackets that are good year round. The trout will always eat these things. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Cover the hook just like that, and we'll lob it back out here into the current. See if we can get us another one here. Oh, I just seen a nice one rise right there. Didn't come all the way to the surface though. Looked like it was coming up to look for something. Went right back down. There we go. We got that one on. Another little rainbow. In pretty much the exact same spot as that last one. Just swing her right on up here into the net. Just a small little guy here. But it was down there feeding on eggs in that current. Just like the big boys do. Calm down, little buddy. Plenty of fight left in this little guy. Let's get him turned around. Get that hook out of him. There we go. A gorgeous little fish nonetheless. Let's let him go right here. There he goes. Alright. Now let's see if we can get us a big one. We'll continue with the pattern that we're using and we'll see what happens. Hey, since we're getting them to bite on these yellow jackets so good, let's go on ahead and grab us out a few more. We'll rig up our hook again here. And we'll continue to fish around this little pot of rainbows because I feel like where the water's muddied up, these fish may have grouped up in one little spot there. And if so, there's probably going to be some big ones in there with those smaller ones. We'll drift around for a little while and we'll see what we can do before we switch to the egg that I really like to use during the spawn, and that mostly only gets bit during the spawn. But I want to experiment around with these for a little while and just see how successful they can be in this exact same area. I tell you, it's kind of strange that we're catching rainbows on eggs. Well, not really, because I mean they're in the water with brown trout, but rainbows prefer to spawn during the springtime, right as that winter water starts to warm up some. Where brown trout, they really prefer to spawn right in the fall as the water's kind of decreasing and going down all the way up until the winter time. So it's pretty interesting that although they're both trout, they like to spawn at kind of different times. But with that being said, in the hatcheries, the water conditions and purities and levels and all those things change, and fish tend to spawn at different times because of that. So it's just something to kind of think about. But anytime that you're catching fish that have characteristics of spawning, it's a really good idea to grab out your eggs and start drifting them by, because most likely, if they're showing signs of beginning to spawn, they're wanting to feed like they're spawning. So this is a little tip you guys can use the next time you're out trout fishing. Get it? Oh, he was on there. Oh, that stinker. And it looks like we did, in fact, catch ourselves a creek chub. That will happen. They can be kind of difficult to avoid. But guys, I do believe it's time. We have fished around in this hole now for about 20 minutes, and we've used the pulaski balls of fire in both the large and the small in the yellow jacket color. But now I think it's time to go ahead and reach in here and grab out one of these Mike's Pack King Deluxe eggs. These guys are one of my favorites for fishing during the spawn, and almost only during the spawn. While they're spawning, they really do like these little eggs here. And although it isn't something I use year round, anytime that I'm seeing a lot of heavy spawning activity, I do like to try these out. Rig one up there. We'll go ahead and put us on another one. Extremely oily, kind of a mess to work with, but they are very, very effective during the spawn season, especially around big brown trout, when you're targeting them in the wild especially. But these stock trout will eat them just as well, especially while they're spawning. So we'll make a few drifts here and we'll see what happens. Oh, there was a bite. Only bit it once. Allow that thing to just keep on sliding down there near that old down tree. There we go. There's one. That's a hangry little guy too. Yes, he is. He absolutely crushed that Atlas Mike's Pack egg. A little bit bigger fish here. Again, it's a rainbow, but it's a solid one. Get him turned, unpegged. There we go. An absolute gorgeous fish there. Absolutely smoked those eggs. Let's let him go. There he goes. Heck yeah. So I was thinking about relocating spots, but after that bite there, I suppose we'll give it a few more drifts. See if we can get us another one. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for this location. So let's go ahead and pack it up. We'll head down the creek. We'll continue fishing our eggs, and we'll see if we can find us a few more feeding fish to add to this video. Drop our salmon eggs in there. Figured I would start off in this little hole right here, throwing those Atlas Mike Pack salmon eggs. King salmon size. Just because the water's a bit murky, as you can see here, and I figured that extra scent couldn't hurt our causes any. So we'll try it for a few minutes before we switch over to those Pulaski Balls of Fire Yellow Jackets, which has been the bait of the day so far. There we go. There we go. Nice brown trout too. Absolutely furious fish here. See if we can get her turned and into the net. Oh, maybe. There we go. Absolutely gorgeous. See if we can get her turned around in the net here. There we go. See if we can pry open that brown trout's mouth there, avoiding the teeth. Perfect little fish there. And that one came on those Atlas Mike's Pack salmon eggs. Super stinky and slimy, but as you can see there, definitely effective. Let's go ahead and get rigged up, see if we can get us another one. There we go. We got one. Nice little fish too. Not a bad little rainbow at all. See if we can get her turned around here. Slide her into the net. There we go. An absolute gorgeous rainbow trout here. Was just about to give up hope on this spot, and this one here comes through and bites for us just perfectly. It looks like this poor fish here has been hooked not only by me but twice by two other individuals, and looked like they had broken off. So we'll just let this little guy take off here. One more cast in this hole, and I think I'm going to call it a day. Not a bad day, all things considered. Only a few fish that we can really count, but we had several strikes, several missed opportunities, so really no need to complain. Guys, if you can, during the early fall all the way up into the early spring, make sure that you use your salmon eggs as often as you can, and make sure that while you're catching fish on the creek, no matter what technique it may be, that you pay attention to what those fish are doing and pay attention to their body characteristics, and just try to notice whether they are or are not spawning. And anytime that you notice some spawning activity, whether it be females getting plump around the belly, whether it be males getting that hook jaw, make sure that you grab out your eggs and you fish them by a little bit, because you may find that the fish are spawning and that they are just keyed in on eggs, and you can turn kind of a slow day into an extremely active and fun day. So get out if you can, guys, and do some fishing and have some fun, and most importantly, be safe and tight lines.